Guys, welcome back to the 36th episode of the Two Brits, One Yank channel. Now, before I introduce the boys, just a quick sort of update as to why there hasn't been many videos recently. I think it's fair to say we've just been all tied up in it, boys, as in with me at the start of the season, Conor with you, and Sol, obviously, you guys, your focus at the minute is the playoffs and stuff. We just haven't had time, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I actually
No.
got really ill.
Mm.
So I wouldn't have been able to get through a podcast anyway. I'd have been sniffling and turning all the viewers away. So yeah, it was,
But
you know,
listen, people turn away already when they hear your voice, let alone if it's croaky and like, bro, I've got strep throat.
it was,
It's so bad.
bro, I was so down bad. My mom and my aunt came over, and obviously, when you have visitors, you can't be, you can't be sick, right? Bro, I had the best time with them. Like they met Tops's family, it was great. I was buzzing when they went on the plane. I didn't do anything for 3 days. Bro, I couldn't move. Like I was sweating, like it was terrible. But yeah, all better now.
Really?
Yeah.
Antibiotics? Conor to sort you out, or?
I went and they just said I had like a pretty bad virus. They didn't give me any antibiotics, which I thought was quite strange, but I had uh I had two
Antibiotics.
I had two friends visit the weekend before, and they both got really ill when they went back to the US. So I think whatever they had, they gave to me, and we all were like sick at the same time.
Could have been COVID, no?
I got tested. I didn't have it, but yeah,
Oh, right,
Bro took
okay.
a COVID test. That's crazy. A COVID test in 2025.
well, they tested
Yeah.
me. Listen, bro, I don't.
Hey, thank you.
You
Thank
know I don't
you.
believe in that. Now, hey, we mentioned COVID. Now this is gonna get deplatformed.
That's actually so true.
It actually might. I believe in the vaccine. I believe in everything. YouTube, leave us up. Yeah.
Boys, it's
So
also, we've been going a year now.
yeah,
Is that what it is?
Been
it's
going a
been
year,
one
yeah.
whole year.
Wow. Happy 1 year to us, man. What a ride. What a ride it's been. In fact, that could be the bloody topic. I didn't
Yeah,
even think of
yes,
that. I
yeah.
didn't even
Well,
think
I'm
of
always
that.
one step ahead, man. That's why I'm the thinker. That's why I'm the
Yeah,
thinker.
Carl, you didn't even mention that before in the not
Come
debrief,
on.
but the brief. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, no,
Um, has it really been a year, yeah? Jesus, man.
it just shows as well, by the way, like we should be on 52 episodes. It's episode 36. So,
That's not bad going though, with like
That's very
Christmas and
yeah.
good for
stuff.
our first year, considering what we've had to go through. As in, like I've moved to another country, Sol moved to Bath. Connor, you've been, do you know what I mean, busy with what you're doing, your football. So like, and
Yeah.
then we also had you go back to America for like 3, 4 months.
Yeah, no, no, no. Like and we
Wow, that's
also have
actually
done
incredible.
some vlogs and stuff to make up for not being
Yeah,
able to do a pod. But yeah,
yeah.
boys, it's been some journey. I, I think when we started the podcast, we probably all envisioned we'd be doing like our 1 year, like the coaching horses, and we'd all be
Yes.
together. But a lot happens in football quite quickly,
Mm,
and yeah, it's we're still making it work and enjoying every moment. So yeah, it's been
exactly.
one hell
It's
of a ride
only,
so far.
yeah, it's only the start, man. It's only the start. Got
Yeah,
some cool guests coming on soon. It's a
yeah.
shame that we couldn't get the guest on last week.
We've had one guest cancel about 4 weeks in a row. So yeah,
And I suppose
one
that's
day we'll
another
have
thing
him.
we have to touch up on is like I suppose having guests on, I think the experience will be better if we're all together. Does that make sense? Rather than just over a Zoom call. I
Yeah,
always
no,
find
$100%.
it's a deeper sort of conversation you're having when you're together. So that,
It's a different
do you know what I mean?
dynamic, isn't it?
Exactly. That's just to sort of give the people the lowdown that we do want guests on. We know that you guys want guests on. I can imagine like every Sunday having to just listen to us waffle. It probably gets a little bit boring, but do you know what I mean? In the near future, we'll definitely look to get some cool people on for sure.
I will say as well, one thing with guests that, is quite difficult, maybe viewers wouldn't understand this. A lot of them, listen, the career of a footballer, it's not for most people, good every week. I would say a lot of the
Mm,
times it's probably 20% good, 80% either bad or not the best, right? You can't always be
mm.
in good form. So people might also not want to like have the wrong appearance to their own fans. They might just want to be like, I'm focused on football. And then I think the end of the season will be a time where we'll definitely be able to get more guests on because it's the summer. You could talk about the upcoming season, the season just gone past. It's hard if you film a podcast on a Wednesday and then releases on a Sunday, but on the Saturday you've missed a sitter in the 90th minute and your team's lost.
It's a great point, Connor. It's a
Yeah.
great point. I'll give you an example. After Watford last week, when we won 1-0, I was asked if I wanted to do a podcast, and I said no, just purely because I just wanted to sort of, I know it sounds completely crazy, but I want to stay under the radar. I know that we do this and I do my TikToks, but in terms of just like having a deep conversation, I didn't want to do it, and I just wanted to just focus on football, and that's when things were going well. So can you imagine other
Yeah.
people, like say if they're out of form and stuff like that? You just said there, we record on the Wednesday and we say right Sunday, but then on the Saturday they have a stinker. So it is quite
But also,
difficult, but like
Boney,
you said,
when you're doing this podcast, it's all in your control, and you're the
yeah,
one who you know what people are going to say. If we don't like something,
exactly,
you just say, "Okay, we'll get rid of that." And same with the
100%.
TikToks. But when someone else is asking you questions, it might probe you in a way, and you think you caught a bit off guard, and it's a bit
Yeah.
like, "Oh, that's a little bit uncomfortable." You don't really know how to react, and all of a sudden it's recorded, and then you're
Hmm.
second guessing yourself, and then you're making yourself look like a tip, essentially. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Not to
exactly.
put anyone off of coming on the podcast because we can remove anything. Don't worry, we can remove
In
anything.
fact, I was actually laughing yesterday, or the day before. I always laugh, but anyway, Cy Ferry, you know Cy Ferry, right?
The
I was
best
He's the
laughing.
podcaster
best.
out there.
Bro, I swear to God, Ray. So they were all laughing on their pod the other day because in the Scottish game, I think Hearts versus Hibs, they did halftime interviews before the boys, like they
Nah.
quickly grabbed them before they went to the tunnel. And Cy Ferry's like, what happens if like you've just have had an absolute stinker and like you've said something that you regret and you're in the change room going, "Oh my God, what have I done? What have I done?" Your head scrambled going into the second half. Do you know what I mean?
You know what? They've been doing it. It's definitely like leaked into football in Europe, but they've been doing that in the US for ages. And
Really?
usually, a lot of the time, they do the coaches, and you get so like Bill Belichick is a good example, the probably the best NFL coach ever. He would say nothing. It was a waste
Good.
of time. He would just, Bill, not the best half for you guys. Yep, got to do better in the second half. Like that's all he would give you. It's pointless. Just
Good.
do the interviews after. Even the interviews after, like they pulled him like two
That's
minutes
so
after.
woke, man.
But I
Yeah,
think it comes across as amateur. Like you look at the top leagues, like, they don't do it. So I don't know what your take on it is, but I just think it's amateur. I think everyone has the same opinion as well, so I don't know why they continue to do it.
No,
right.
but I think that at half time is so stupid because so
Yeah,
much can change in a game of football. At least talk about it once the football match is done, and a player's mentality and a player's psychology can be affected at half
Hmm.
time by you asking questions and probing stuff. You might have thought, oh, actually, I wasn't too bad. Maybe let's pick up the second half. They'll be like, oh, it's really not going well for you boys. It's like, oh, is it we really doing that bad? Even though it's like 0-0 or 1-0 down. Do you know what I mean? Like it can really play with your mind.
Oh, there's definitely people out there. So 100%.
yeah.
100% there's definitely players out there that would think like that at halftime.
It has to do as well, I think, with how social media has gone. You get so much more access to the big players. Like I remember growing up, like looking up, like basically, I guess essentially day in their lives, just trying to see what, top footballers were doing, and you'd find nothing, you know,
Mm.
nothing. Now, like Bellingham has his YouTube series. You could it seems like every team in non-league now has a guy doing TikTok. It's even growing now in the EFL. Like you have Michael Cheek doing it. Like I think that's fantastic. So I think the more and more players open themselves up, you're going to get more and more access at matches. I know Brentford do the camera in their dressing room with no audio. That is great. The dressing room's a sacred place. Like managers shouldn't even go in there really that much, and then obviously on
Hmm.
a match day. Now you have a camera in there. That is, I think it's crazy how it's going, but I think it'll only continue in that direction of more
100%.
media access. Because at the end of the day, I would love, again, as a fan and as a fan, I would love it. If I was a player, I would hate it, but I would love it if I could go in Chelsea's dressing room and see everything that they're saying.
Hmm.
But at the same time, the players definitely don't want that, and that also needs to be respected.
Hmm. I just think like you see when we were growing up, who did we really have? It was just sort of Matt Sheldon, wasn't it? Who we could
But that's
who
when we
we
were
could
like
watch to really get
14,
an
15.
inside accent. Yeah.
That like I'm talking like when I was like 8 to 9, like there
Hmm.
was
Yeah.
nothing. Rio,
Yeah.
I think Rio Ferdinand did a YouTube channel and it was just basically pranking players, and I mean that was pretty funny. But you got nothing about their lives, and I think all that you'd really get about their lives was half of it was made up in the tabloids.
Hmm. As
And
in
that's why
like I
Twitter became so big when you could see like people's opinions straight away and footballers' opinions. That's why Twitter blew up so early, I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it
Well,
makes total sense.
oh, Twitter before the players were media trained was crazy. I remember Ryan Babel putting up a picture of Howard Webb in a United top after a United Liverpool game. Could you imagine that happening now?
He
No
Like
gets
chance.
such a big fine.
Can you
he got a
remember?
fine and he was confused. He didn't even realize how big his Twitter was.
Can you remember when Rooney tweeted Rio Ferdinand saying, "Rio, do you want to lift in the morning, pal?" or something? Did you boys ever get like someone famous retweet your stuff on Twitter? I remember as a kid when I was younger, I used to always tweet like professional athletes and say, "Oh, I'd love a retweet or a like," and if they did it, like it was like the best thing ever. Then if you
You're
ever
such
get
a
like
beg,
anyone,
bro. You're such a beg.
no, bro, I did, but I've got a flex right here. I've got a serious flex.
Let's
What
hear it.
is it?
Usain Bolt.
That is sick.
Wow. That is
Usain
a
Bolt
serious
retweeted.
flex.
Yeah, he retweeted my picture. He was doing like tag Usain, like the hashtag, and obviously he'd click into the hashtag and see. But it was of everyone doing like his pose,
Hmm.
and I did it with the family. We had like a picture, and I sent it in, and he retweeted it. Oh, it was like the best thing ever, man.
I
Best
That's
thing
actually
ever.
amazing.
I used to like tweet like if a reporter would be like, "Oh, ask so and so," I would tweet them like a question, see if they'd respond. And I remember tweeting Taylor Twellman. He was like the biggest football reporter. He was a footballer in the U.S. Like I think it was about is Drogba gonna come MLS? And he answered. I thought it was the
No
coolest.
way.
I was like 13 or 14. I thought it was like the coolest thing ever.
You weren't 14, you were 21.
But that is your, by the way, that is your future job for sure. Like you're definitely involved in some sort of journalism in football and stuff. I could really picture you doing it, man.
Yeah, you're
Yes.
sleazy,
You just know
sleazy as hell, bro.
everything. Oh, it's easy. You would make so much money from it. But you're gonna actually gonna be Fabrizio Romano, whatever his name is. You're gonna have just so much ball knowledge and just putting it out there.
I don't, you know what? I've thought about this a lot. Obviously, it's been, a tough season, like what I'll do afterwards. And obviously, I got my professional career started late because I wanted to, get my education and have, more freedom after football because football is not forever.
Mhm.
And to be honest, boys, I'm like looking at LinkedIn and stuff. I have no clue what I want to do after. Like none. I
Really?
thought I'd have like somewhat of an idea, but you want to stay. I want to stay in football, but I also want to make money afterwards. And you need a lot of the times you need a good career in football. And my career is not going the best at the minute, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, I definitely would love to work in football afterwards. Hopefully, hey, this pod does well in the next couple of years. We're laughing, boys. We're by the beach somewhere doing podcasts.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think this would help us a lot. As in, like, we this is not a 1 year, 2 year thing. This is something that I envision doing for a little while. So you never know, man. I suppose that could open up some doors. You know what I mean? if mine and Sol's TikTok continues to grow, man, we'll be going worldwide, baby.
Your
It's
TikTok's
probably
going
going
good at
world.
the moment, bro.
It is. It is going. I voice cracked there. I was getting emotional like Connor. But no, it's doing well. I think I started on what, like I had 1,000 followers when I decided to start doing the match days, and I think I'm on like 2.36 now. So it's growing well. I didn't post on Friday and I didn't post on Monday just purely because I got injured in the game Friday and I didn't want to sort of post anything, and Monday I sort of left off. But I did record today, as in like a little injured edition. So that's gonna be pretty. I'll post that probably on Sunday or something. But I love it. So can you remember when you used to say it's so much fun and all? I
So
actually
much fun.
enjoy recording the clips, putting it together, sort of doing the voiceover with it, and then, bro, you're touching so many people.
Hmm.
Like, as in your um how can I word it? Like you're expanding your not your brand, but
Audience.
yourself to your audience, yeah, like to so many people in Ireland. Like so many times now where I finish the game and someone's like, I love your TikTok. And do you know what I mean? And the boys love it as well, which is the one thing that I was sort of worried about getting slagged and stuff. Not worried, but like, oh, the boys are gonna go for me here. They
Mhm.
absolutely love it.
That's
So
it.
yeah, it's sick, man, and I'm gonna continue doing them and try and grow an audience and take that audience with me to this, you know. So
I
Well, I
actually got a
remember.
notification today that it was actually a year ago today that I posted my first TikTok.
no
Really?
way.
Yeah, today. Well, the first one was Gaffer when I'm doing the like the first day in the life was a year ago today. Yeah, and I
I
actually
see you,
like
son.
listened. I listened back to I listened back to it and like I sound so different. I sound so nervous talking and stuff.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
It's
yeah.
just so weird.
Yeah, I totally get you. It becomes more natural. I've found that, and I
Well,
can imagine you're exactly the same because you've recorded, I don't know, like 3 times more than I have. But it does. It becomes easier.
so what are you on now? You're on like over 90K in 1 year. That is crazy
That's
number.
so good, man.
Yeah, it's quite cool actually. I think I'm on like just under 96K now. So
That's awesome.
hopefully my aim was to hit 100, like my big goal was to hit 100K by like the end of the season. When I signed for Bath, I was on like 8,000 something. So I was like, if I could hit like 100K by the end of the season, that'd be really cool. And hopefully I'm on course to do that in the next 2 months.
You were
So
only on 8K when you went to Bath.
Yeah.
You know
I
what?
remember, I remember saying it to you, Sol. You're on 7K in a pod. I think it could have been the Binksy pod or that day.
yeah, I think I was on like 7,500 or something. But
Yeah.
the thing is, like the first 10,000, I'd say was like the hardest to get, and then it
Right.
kind of just snowballs from there. And then like you have like a few videos that do like really well. Like the Aldershot one really helped me. Oh, I'm gonna
Hmm.
sneeze. Sorry. The
Bro,
Aldershot one really helped me.
did you just sneeze in silence or did you mute yourself?
No, I held it in.
That is
You know that
crazy.
Mm.
one.
I
Nah,
know
I
the
don't have
You're
that in
ones.
not
my locker, bro. I have
you're
to
not
mute.
familiar with my game, bro. You're not familiar with my game.
I know the ones. Carry on,
But
because
like
you were cooking there.
I think that the Aldershot one was maybe in like September, and that boosted me to like 30K. And I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And then I had the Hornchurch bit. I remember when we played Hornchurch last time, who were playing this
Mm.
weekend, they were singing like 35K, 35,000 TikTok famous to me, which I think was in September. And then you have like little milestones. Like when I came back to Maidstone, it got a little bit of a boost, and then
Yeah.
little things happen. Like, and yeah, it's so strange. I'm trying to get to 10K as well on Insta. I think I'm like 9.2K now. So like I've gone up
Nice.
like slowly but surely on there as well. But that was my aim. My overall massive goals were 10K and 100K to see if I could do it, and hopefully I'll never hit them.
Well, bro, if
So
you
you
keep
you
scoring last minute winners as well, it'll definitely help the numbers, won't it?
Yeah,
oh yeah.
that was the issue. I wasn't scoring. I wasn't doing anything. So the numbers were going stale. That was the issue. So but nah, it's nice to be back in the goals, especially when you're on the bench. No player likes to be on the bench, and everyone wants to start every single game. So it's just important that when you do come on, you can have an effect on it. I think sometimes my attributes are better suited to be on the bench when teams are slightly tired. Coming on, I always feel like if I'm fresh, that there's no one really who's going to be able to catch me. So I always
Mhm.
feel like mentally that puts me in good stead. And yeah, I managed to somehow dive and win a penalty. we'd actually been discussing on the Friday before.
Stop doing this, bro. You're gonna get some ref that's gonna see this and you're gonna get clattered in the 90th minute, and the ref's gonna say, "Nah, you must have dove."
Well, it wasn't really a
Yeah,
dive. You can literally put the clip in. Like, Thompson Scott. He literally shoves me in the back. But
It's
yeah.
not a dive. It's not a
But I
dive.
ran past him. I thought, oh, he's not going to even touch me. I'm not going to get to the ball. And I like kind of stepped across, and then he just shoves me, and I was like, what the hell? But
Mhm.
from the like the highlights, it doesn't look like a penalty. But from the side, you can actually see like what is this guy doing?
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. You see, when I text you and you sent me that and you said, wait, look at this angle from tops, I thought you meant as in it looks even worse, like it's not a penalty. And I remember looking at it
No, no,
going, no, hang on a minute. That is genuinely a penalty. But if you watch
yeah,
it from the highlights, it's like, ah, so what a dive, man. What have you done? Like you've just won a
yeah.
penalty and con the ref. But it's genuinely a penalty. I don't know what your man's doing. You're going
But
nowhere.
but he even falls over on top of me, like trying to push me, like and fell over. And
Yeah.
that's when my eyes light up, and I think, here we go.
Look what Santa got me that I still haven't opened yet.
No way.
Yeah,
Wow,
bro.
that's cool, bro.
Hey,
That'd be great for TikTok.
you're the king
Yeah,
of
well,
self-help,
that's
man. You're the king of
yeah. I
self-help.
actually,
Ice plunge every
hey,
day.
it's a new me, bro. I tell you, the podcasts and the audibles and the books that I've been reading. I'm a new
Bro's a
man.
consumer. Bro's a consumer. You should actually
I'm
watch
a
Marcus Smith, the fly half or currently playing fullback for England. He did like a TikTok day in the life, and somebody put in the comments something about like he's the CEO of consumerism, and he actually did remind me a little bit of you, Boney. But I think
really
you have to see it, and it's all about like helping himself. But some of the stuff and some of the items he's bought is just hilarious. But
well. I
Boney's so
would.
like that. Boney's so impulsive. We'll see something and be like, "Yeah, I'm buying that. That's
Yeah,
perfect."
that's exactly what I'm like. I'm just looking there. I've got my melatonin and I've got my blue light glasses. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else. There isn't anything else, but I read the other day that saunas are really good for growth hormone increases, as in like it will help you build muscle in long term.
Mm.
And I've been doing that every day after my gym sessions, just to sort of, I think it's like you got to be in there. The more you do it, the more you get this growth hormone release, and obviously that's huge for building muscle. So
They're
read
really
that
good.
straight
I
on
think
there.
I think I've mentioned this before, but it's like statistically, people from Scandinavia, because they use saunas all the time, they're less likely to get like heart attacks and stuff.
Yeah, I
And it's
actually
something
saw
like,
that TikTok last night.
yeah, if you're in a sauna for like 60 minutes, but it's like 3 20-minute sessions a week,
Hmm.
you reduce your risk of getting a heart attack when you're older by like 45%,
Yeah, yeah,
which
that's
is a
exactly
massive
it.
number.
It helps like
100%.
increase stamina as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's really
Do, do
good.
you know that's the
I didn't
biggest
realize how
thing?
good it was for you.
Yeah,
It's
no, it's
great.
fantastic. Yeah, it's a shame though. Like the gym I go to, Ironworks, it doesn't have anything. It just
This is exactly
has.
what I was gonna say. Like
Yeah.
the village when we used to be
Dead
there
ass
in
gym, blood.
Maidstone, the
No, it's a
village was
good gym
so
though.
good. The village was so good because it had everything, and now we're at Freedom, and Freedom's sauna is not even a sauna. I don't think that even
When
counts.
you
That's it.
when you come over, boys, when you come over, I've got day passes. I'll take you to Castle Knock. It is unbelievable. The Irish first team go there. In fact, I've actually got a funny story. I was chilling with the first team manager in the sauna the other day.
The
Oh,
The
rugby.
no, the Irish,
Oh, like the
the
football.
football, yeah.
Oh,
It
no
was
really?
way.
just it was just me, him, and some other guy. But I didn't want to bother him, so I didn't say anything. But like, obviously, the timer ran down, so I was just like, "Look, can I quickly change that?" He was like, "Yeah, of course, but I'm getting out now. That's me done. I've done 15 minutes," and we just laughed. But then this girl came in.
Whoa!
Uh, this girl came into the jacuzzi, and she had a massive black eye. And I was like, "Are you a boxer? Like, what's happened?" She was like, "No, I'm the rugby player." I searched her up. She's the women's captain for the rugby national team.
That is
Bro said
sick.
Sick.
you're a boxer.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I know. I said, "Are you a boxer or something?" She goes, "No, I play rugby." And I was like, "Oh, damn, stay away from her." But yeah, that the women's team go in there, the women's rugby team go there, and the men's national team, as in like the football team, go there. So they'll be there next week.
That is so
No
sick.
way.
Yeah. One of the obviously Chuck knows Queever or Queevin or something, the Liverpool keeper. Kelleher. I just don't know how to say his first
Kelleher,
Bro,
yeah.
name.
I will ne you if you put a gun to my head and say this guy's name,
Oh,
I'll be a
no
dead.
idea.
No chance.
Um,
Weaver?
and then Kerr, who I live with, is best friends with, do you know Michael Johnson, who plays for West Brom, who's at
Yeah.
Celtic?
The old
Yeah.
The
Celtic one,
winger.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, they're like best mates. So I'm
No way.
presume they'll
He
go
was so
there.
good at West Brom last season when he went on loan there. He was
That's what
too
that's why they
cold.
signed him.
Yeah.
That's why they signed him, Kerr said. But they'll be there next week. So when they go and meet them, I might just try and tag along, just TikTok it or something.
And take him to Mello. Take him to Mello. And show him and
Duh,
say, like,
bro, duh,
you got him. I
duh.
actually miss Mello. That acai bowl. Ooh.
Mellow's the best, man. If I was in there doing the usual this morning, just chilling with the guys and absolute legends.
Boys,
What a spot.
speaking of international football, obviously, we all have seen Jamie Carragher's comments. What do you guys think
Hmm.
Bro,
about
hang on, I've got to
AFCON?
pause you there. I've got to stop you there. That was a cold transition. Bro's been
Yeah,
thinking about how
but
he can
no,
transition into
no, no.
this.
You know what? I thought the same, but I didn't want to cut him off.
Me
Yeah,
and
big
Bodie
up,
have just
Conor.
been rambling on about different things, and all of a sudden, speaking of international
I was
football,
I was like, boys, you got to get me out of this waffling right here. I'll help you out.
oh, sorry,
No,
carry
but,
on, carry on.
but seriously, what do we think of Carragher's comments? Because he basically said that for Mo Salah to win the Ballon d'Or, it kind of has to come from his club accolades because AFCON's not a major international tournament. What do you guys think of that?
Um,
Being an African man, or I say half an African man, as my dad is from Kenya, I'd say it's a little bit disrespectful to the tournament. I don't think that necessarily the quality of the Euros and Copa America, which is still considered big tournaments, have been unbelievable recently. Um, I also think that African football has improved so much, and even football throughout the world has improved so much, which is why you see the lesser nations performing a lot better at World Cups and causing a lot more issues at World Cups than people would normally see in the past. I do think that there's always going to be the stigma attached to African football in comparison to the European and South American game. But I think that times have moved on and the quality that's within the nations has just improved so much that you have to start considering it. But World Cup is still the main thing. If Egypt were to compete at the World Cup, because Egypt have won the African Cup of Nations the most times out of anyone, so it is hard for him to do too much more. It's not like say a Kenya have never qualified and he carries them on his back and gets to the final. It's not like that. Egypt have always been one of the strongest teams in the competition, so it's hard for his single influence to really make that much of a difference.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, I would say, just speaking, obviously as a neutral, I mean, yeah, I'm an English citizen and all, but, as an American, the Gold Cup obviously isn't comparative to the Euros and Copa America. I would say the
Don't let Reece
Euros,
Greenwich hear that. Don't let Reece Greenwich hear that. He won't be happy.
the Euros is definitely, I would say, the best continental tournament. I think it's the most organized, it's the most routine there. It's every 4 years, it's in a summer, it's spaced perfectly with the World Cup. I think one thing that Copa America and AFCON definitely have against it is it's too randomized. Well, Copa America is. There's been, I think it's 5 Copa Americas in the last 9 years. Like, there's no rhyme or reason for what year it is. They have to get that in a proper routine. AFCON is every 2 years, but it overlaps with European football. And it used to even, until 2010, used to overlap with the World Cup. So in 2010, you have AFCON in January, and then you have the World Cup in June. That's not good either. So I think they've rectified that a little bit where they alternate now. They don't have it the same year as a World Cup. But I do think, AFCON and Copa America definitely to an extent as well need to become more organized, do it every 4 years, have it not conflict with a European football calendar. And I think you'll see a lot better improvement. Also, I think, you see crazy stuff at AFCON. Like, I think you had a player, I'm gonna butcher which country it was. I think it was Equatorial Guinea. I'll correct it if I'm wrong. But you had a player that wasn't eligible to play for them, and he was like the top scorer. And like that just can't happen. So it's definitely a major tournament, but I would say even Copa America as well are far behind the Euros. Like Ronaldo, when people compare Ronaldo and Messi, I think Ronaldo's Euro win, even though he didn't even play in the final, probably meant more in the whatever GOAT debate than Messi's Copa America, just because you have so many more attempts at Copa America and there's only 8 teams.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is the issue. The lack of teams. What do you think about the Euros becoming a 32 team tournament though?
You know, I didn't even like when they went to 24, but I think it's actually worked out quite well. I like the third place, the four of the best six teams go through. I think that's pretty cool. Makes for good viewing and like Ronaldo, Portugal wouldn't have won in 2016 in a traditional
Yeah.
tournament because they came third. And I think, countries like Georgia and Albania, they've been great to watch. But it definitely probably does diminish the quality a bit in the tournament, It if you have 16 teams and it's the 16 best nations, every match is blockbuster. Yeah. And I
Agreed.
think Copa America as well expands. So that I think they do 16, but they invite teams. So like Japan, Qatar, they've played in Copa America. I think they should probably try to combine Copa America and the Gold Cup into, one tournament where it's, 16 teams from North and South America. I think that would probably be better served as well for them. Yeah. Boney, what do you think about
Boney?
No,
comments?
no, no. I mean, this isn't really my forte, to be honest. I like that you two were sort of rattling off against each other. I just think it's not, yeah, as in like it's not as well regarded compared to the Euros and perhaps the Copa America. I think that's probably why Carragher said what he said, but I do think it was disrespectful, and I can see why it caused so much controversy. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna be honest, it isn't my forte. It isn't, do you know what I mean? I wouldn't come here with loads of ball knowledge, so I'll let you two sort of say what you've got to say.
But even if you compare, like, I'm pretty sure Ronaldo's run to the Euros final, they didn't even
Mm.
beat a so-called big nation. I think like Poland was one of the best teams that they ended up beating on the way. Like
I think it
realistically,
was I think it was Croatia, Poland, Wales in the semis, and then France obviously at home is massive.
exactly. And they drew in the group stage, didn't they? And they also lost a game in the group stage. So if you think about who they
So
actually
they
beat to get
drew
to the
all
final,
they drew all three in the group stage, but it was Austria, Hungary, and Iceland.
no, but if you look at Portugal's run and compare the teams that they face to the top African teams at the moment, like Nigeria, Ghana, Algeria, obviously Egypt. You've even got Morocco. Morocco have been so successful. They made it to the World Cup semi-final. I think that, okay, maybe not in comparison to France. France is obviously a world heavyweight. Um, but they still give a lot of those teams a run for their money. If not, they are better than a lot of them, especially if you look at Morocco.
Yeah, but you see, it's like these are obviously top teams. Like if you look at it now, son, and I completely agree with you. Like in terms of ability wise, it's so much more better now. But I still think it gets a bad rep. Like for example, I've got friends that like look at JB and stuff when the AFCON's going on, they come in, they're laughing about it. Did you see what happened with the ref? Like you remember when the
Yeah.
ref blew like 5 minutes early and then he blew again 2 minutes early. And then like you got players like who aren't even registered for the national team that are like the top goal scorer. Do you know what I mean? It just gives the competition such a bad rep. Like people laugh at it rather than go, well, actually strip it all back and look at Ademola Lookman. He's actually unbelievable. Does that make sense? I
Hmm.
Yeah.
think that's why I don't know. I just feel like as in that's probably why that, Carragher said that because it's more, when I hear AFCON's coming, like starting, and I hear like the boys in the changing room, I'm not buzzing to watch the football. I'm buzzing to watch the mistakes or some of this
Yeah,
crazy stuff that's going to happen within the tournament.
that
Do you
is
know what
so
I
true.
mean?
That
Yeah,
is so
I
true.
think
So,
the standard of the pitches also isn't great, which definitely hinders the competition. What's crazy as well is just the mind games and like even just African football in general, like World Cup qualifying. Bro,
mhm.
I listened to a podcast with William Troost-Ekong, the Nigeria captain who was at Watford. Now I think now he
Yes.
plays in
That's
Saudi.
okay.
He's doing a great YouTube channel at the minute.
Hmm.
He started doing it a few years ago with Nigeria, which was really cool. Then he stopped and now he does behind the scenes in Saudi. But he was saying when Nigeria went to play Libya, they took them to a separate airport to get
Yeah.
more fuel to go to their final destination. They were basically kidnapped kind of at the airport. They were made to get off the plane, go inside. They had no Wi-Fi, no food, no water, and they were there for like a day.
What the
And they
hell?
said we're not playing and got in a plane and went home. I don't think Osman was there, but you have Ademola Lookman, you have Victor
He
Boniface,
was there.
big
Yeah.
players, big
Have you
Yeah.
players
seen the videos?
stranded in an
The,
airport. It's terror. The infrastructure and the organization definitely needs to improve in CAF as a whole.
Hmm. I agree.
Yeah, but
I agree.
I'll tell you what though. Say you make AFCON more like the Euros. Maybe it would just be boring. Maybe it just needs to stay how it is.
I was gonna say I enjoy it. I
that's
genuinely
facts.
enjoy watching AFCON. Like I look forward to when it starts. In fact, no, I won't shout him out actually because he's from the rival team. I was gonna say, obviously, the lad that I used to play with, Pico Lopez, who plays for Rovers. He represents. Oh God, why has my mind gone blank? Cape Verde. He represents Cape Verde. He's played in a couple of AFCON now, which is insane. Like he played against Senegal and stuff. But I remember he used to when we were at Rovers together, he used to always say, "Oh, nah, Sam, like I don't like I might look into it. I might look into trying to represent the national team." And he never did when I was with him. But then a few years later, I think he was contacted on LinkedIn and he jumped at it and he's made like X amount of appearances now and he's got all these experience under his belt from playing in AFCON. I mean, it's just incredible, you know.
That's so cool, man.
Well,
It's ledge.
one tournament we haven't mentioned as well, which conflicts with the European calendar, is the Asian Games or the Asia. I think it's the Asian Cup. I don't. You need to look at getting your Malaysian passport, bro. Like, could you imagine
I know.
playing home and son in South Korea? Like, I don't know why
Yeah.
you don't look at. I think it would be such a cool opportunity. I'm sure they'd be interested.
It is
100%.
it is I suppose it is something that I don't know, yeah, I guess I'll look at. I've never really sat down and sort of looked into it. I mean, like if you go onto my Instagram and my Twitter, I'm always contacted about, from, do I want to call them fans? I suppose, yeah, I suppose they are fans, but they always like say, "Oh, Sam, come and represent Malaysia," blah blah blah. But I mean, it's no secret that I was born there, and it is perhaps something that I'll look at in the near future. You're right, because it could be one of those situations similar to Pico where I'm sort of toying with it, and it's not until I do it I go, "Wow, why didn't I do that earlier?" So perhaps I'll definitely look into it for sure.
I think 100% that'll be what it's like as well. 100%.
Oh, well, yeah, it's just it's always been like that, It's just how it will work out. I'll end up, representing them or something. I'm like, God, I should have done this years and years ago, But football over there is massive. It is
Huge.
absolutely massive. There's a side called Johor, and they have like over 1 million on Instagram and stuff. But a guy who's like quite high up in the club played with my dad, so. Do you know what I mean? The contact could be there if I ever did want to do something in terms of trying to get that sorted. So yeah, perhaps I just need someone to give me that kick and I'll go do it.
Well, we're
So
going
we'll
to have to
see.
give you that kick then. We're going to be the
Yeah,
ones.
Yeah, fact. We'll take two Brits, one Yank over to Malaysia, man.
I don't know if they'll understand us too much, but hey, I'll
That's
tell you
very
what,
true.
they're so dedicated, they'll listen regardless.
Well, it's funny. No. I have a funny story, Connor. If I would have told you, you might have forgotten about it. But there's this guy who follows me on Instagram. I obviously follow him back. He does a lot of stuff with the Malaysian football, so he promotes it. He's got a load of followers. But I asked him if he could shout out one of our latest episodes, and he was like, "Yeah, of course, Sam." Puts it on his story, puts the link on. Now, obviously, everyone's clicked in the link because they couldn't understand anything. They click off it straight away. So if you go back and watch like our view time, it's virtually nothing compared to the views because everyone's clicked off it. I went, oh, that was a waste of time. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't really expect. It's a shame as well, like with our contact with Nacho and La Media and Glessa, he always gives
Yeah.
us a shout out, and then all the comments are in Spanish. I'm like,
Do you
there's
know what I
no
mean?
way they've understood anything here.
Exactly. They just do it for the support, man. But hey, it's good to be back, boys. It's good to be back. We haven't recorded now in a few weeks, so it was nice. It was nice to be
Yeah,
back.
no,
I'm gonna
definitely
go
Very
enjoyed
in.
cool.
it, and yeah, looking forward to editing this one, man. It'll be nice just to get someone out. We haven't
Yeah,
even put in, announcements saying we're not doing it. We've just kind of
yeah,
just let it go, just hoping,
exactly.
not too many people notice. We've had a few messages like when's the next
Mm,
pod dropping? So yeah, hopefully some people
hmm
will be happy, and yeah, it's been great catching up with you boys as always.
Awesome, man. Right, well, there we go. I'm gonna go and enjoy some pre-match with the boys downstairs.